today in this session, we are going to discuss that how we can locate an element in Playwright using CSS or XPath. Okay, so first thing is that Playwright supports both the things CSS and XPath selector. And if you want to use these two things, you can use a function that is called locator. Okay, using locator function, you can pass the CSS in XPath as a parameter and it will able to find the element on your web page. So syntax is that page.locator, and here you have to pass the, you can say CSS locator, or you can pass the XPath. Okay, if you want, you can mention the CSS equal to in the CSS path or XPath keyword into the XPath. But if you don't want to mention, then it automatically, what happens that it automatically consider it. Means if you are passing directly the CSS path or XPath, it will try using both the concept. Means whenever you are passing, it will go and find on the page to consider whether it can be a CSS path or it can be a XPath. So you don't need to mention whether you are using a CSS or XPath. The function is same, and directly you need to pass the CSS or XPath here. Okay, now for this purpose, to understand this thing, I will take the example of this Orange HRM application. Usually I use for my testing or demo purpose. So here I need to write a code to login, username, password, and click on login button. So in my previous session, I've already written a code, okay, to make a login on it. But at that time, I was using the locator get by row. This time, I will show you that instead of using get by row locator, I will use the you can say locator function for that by using CSS and XPath. So first of all, let me do one thing. Let me remove this part. Okay, and let me remove this part, and I will change the function here. So here I will change the function locator. So let me write page.locator here. So this is the locator function. Okay, so same thing I will do for below one. This is my locator function. And now let me do one thing. I will pass this whole thing with this one. Okay, so I've written the code here. Only what I need to do in between this, in this locator function, I will pass the XPath or CSS selector of the username, and same I will do for my password field. So now let me go here, and now let me right click on that, and let me make an inspect on that. So I've inspected it. So this is, you can say this is my name attribute here. So I can use the name attribute. So let me create the XPath for that. You can say if you want to create XPath by your own, okay, so you can refer my this video. You can refer my this video. Here I have already described that how you can create the XPath, dynamic XPath, how you can create the CSS selector. So I have created the video when I was creating the video on Selenium or Cypress. But the concept of XPath and CSS, the creating of XPath and CSS is you can say same in every tool. Like if you are using Selenium, if you are using Cypress, or if you are using the Playwright. So you can refer this video. I will provide the link of this video in the description of this video. Okay, now you can say, now let me come back here. So in my code, I told you that I need to pass the locator as a CSS or XPath. So I will go to this one, and I will create the XPath for that. So the syntax is that XPath, the syntax is that / tag name, and then I can write @ and attribute name is name. So I will write this one, and then I will write this one, single quotes, and this one. Now you can say one of one. Let me copy it here. I will go to the code and I will pass in the this field. Okay. Now same thing I can do for my, you can say password field. Okay. Let me go and let me make a right click on that. If I inspect, this is my password. I have again the name attribute. So I can use this one, same syntax, only this one. So it is also one of one. You can say one of one. So I can use this one also, copy. Now let me go to the code and I can pass it here. So you can see that instead of using the get by rule or any other locator, I have directly passed the XPath for the username and password field. And now I'm going to run it and see that it's working fine or not. So I have configured it so that configured my automation to run in the headed mode so that you can see the browser in front of you and you can verify that things are working fine or not. So it is running, it is running, it is running. Yeah, just open the browser. Yes, it has opened the browser. And yeah, it has logged in, it has opened the URL, and now page is there. So it will enter admin username. Yes. And now click on login button. It means my automation is able to find the element using the XPath. Okay. So you can say it is passed here. And I can show you if in the same way you want to use the CSS path, you can use it. Only the syntax of the CSS path is different. So instead of that, Just remove this one, and here you don't need to write at the rate. So this is called CSS path. Syntax is you can say different for the XPath and CSS. Otherwise, you can say anything can be used. Okay. So I have already told you that if you want to go detailed understanding about CSS and XPath, you can refer these videos. Okay. Now let me go to the code, and in case of this password, I'm going to write this code here. Okay, and now you can see that. Okay, I've written. Okay, maybe I have written it. Okay, I just need to remove this thing. Let me remove everything, otherwise it will be confusing. Yes. Okay, now same thing I can do for my username. You know that for username, let me remove this one, and let me remove the @ and now it will also become the CSS locator for the, you can see, username. If you want to see, let me go and verify it here. Let me put it here. This one. Now you can see it is identifying the username. It means only the difference is that the syntax of CSS and XPath is different here. So I updated it here. Now let me go, and now let me run the code here. So I'm going to run the code, and you can see that this time I only change the instead of XPath, I use the CSS selector, and I don't need to mention whether I'm using the CSS or XPath. It will automatically identify and try to find the element. So now it has launched the browser, and now it has yes, it is able to enter the username, password. Excellent. And now click on the login button. It means it is working fine using CSS selector also. And now it will generate the result here. So now this, you can say that yes, CSS, yes, passed here. So using this syntax, you whatever XPath or CSS selector you have, okay, so you can use it here. I hope you got this point, that how you can use it. Still you have any doubt, you can put your doubt in the comment of this video. And if you like the video, you can click on the like button. Thank you.